Check it out. Check it out. Blackrock, they just launched three new ETFs. Let's take a look at them. First off, if you are getting into the investing game, you need to know about BlackRock and Vanguard. They are 1A, 1B, the top two in the industry. BlackRock is one of the world's largest asset management companies. Typically, before I look at any company to invest in, I kind of see if BlackRock or Vanguard are investing in it. Now, two of the ETFs they just launched. Remember, ETF means exchange traded funds. So instead of just one stock, one company, it could be multiple, right? So two of them offer exposure to the largest US stocks and one designed to avoid them. One thing you always want to make sure you look at first when you're trying to look into an ETF is that expense ratio. Now, the first ETF is TOPT. That's the ticker symbol. So you just type that into one of your brokerages and this will come up. It's the iShares Top 20 US Stocks ETF. And as you can see here, the expense ratio is about 0.20. Another reason why a lot of people invest in ETFs, kind of like what number 3 says right here, it's a simple way to start investing, right? One ticker solution to gain exposure to a variety of large cap US stocks at a fraction of the capital required to purchase them individually. So instead of buying, 10 different stocks, you can put your money on one ETF. You get a little access to all of those. And then it talks about your number of holdings. You got 21 here. Another thing I like to look at is what are those holdings? There's only 21 holdings here. And it said it's going to be the top 20 US stocks. So let's look at this. Apple, Nvidia, you will see a lot of these in like a simple S&P 500 fund as well. However, when you have an index fund, you have about 500 companies as opposed to this new one, it's about 20 companies. This is the exposure breakdown, the different sectors, industries that they are in that make up the fund. As you can see, semiconductors such as Nvidia, AMD, Broadcom, that makes up about 20% of the fund. Remember, that was the TOPT, the top 20 US stocks. Let's look into the next one. New ETF number 2, QTOP, the NASDAQ top 30 stocks. Same expense ratio, that 0.20. Now, this one's a little different, right? It's trying to gain exposure to some of the largest and most innovative non-financial companies, including pioneers and industry disruptors. Now, that's one of the main differences about the two is this one doesn't have any financial companies in it at all. The other one, they had companies from the finance industry, such as JP Morgan. But similarly here, you have those same companies there. They just removed the finance companies, and they just added about 10 more companies. All right, ETF number 3 that they just released is QNXT, NASDAQ 100 X Top 30 ETF. Same expense ratio at 0.20, sitting at about right under $25 right now. Now, the main thing with this one is offers greater sector diversification by excluding the 30 most heavily weighted companies in the NASDAQ 100. So those are removed from this ETF, a little bit more diversification. I'll go ahead and look at growth potential section there. It says allows investors to focus on rising companies with growth potential that are not dominated by industry giants. Once again, when we look at the number of holdings, you got about 70 here, a little bit more than the other two. And these are some of the top holdings that they have in this fund. Starting off with Micron, Starbucks, Lam Research, KLA, Cintas. Not too bad. So those were the 3 ETFs that BlackRock just released. Remember, do your own research. Look into them. This video is not designed to tell you, hey, go invest in those. But hey, just be aware, right? I'll be watching them and I'll kind of see how they do. It's a new ETF, so no one knows how they're going to perform. I got a pretty good idea it may do well, right? Just because of what it tracks. But hey, we'll see. And remember, this is not advice, just some random guy talking about what I'm talking about. Peace.